Yo, what's happening? We back at our regular CP time, 9 o'clock-ish. You know, I be trying to get that 9, but hey, the CP time force is strong with this group. It's all good, though. It's your guy, Mr. Chocolate, and we got a bunch of people. We got a bunch of chocolate people in here. The big homie, Black Pearl, what's going on with you?
Hey, CP in here.
Yo, we got the big homie Miscommunication in here. What's going on with you?
How y'all doing?
It's so good to see you. It's so good to be amongst the African princess.
Oh, thank you.
Thing. And I got the doctor. I said the doctor's in the house. Dr. Roy Rain, what's going on?
What it do, boo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got the big homie Tay. What's going on?
Hey, y'all. Hey, happy hump day.
All right. And
we need you to get more energy.
For real. I'm like, what happened?
Run
Tay,
that
not
again.
Today? Tay's like, Tay, not today.
Oh, they said shit. They said, run that again. Go ahead and run it again for us.
Tay, not today?
I was trying to be good and not take up too much time. Hey, y'all. Hey, happy hump day.
Over it. All right, keep going, Chocolate.
We got so many people. We got the big homie, D-Rod the poet in here. What's going on?
Peace and blessings, people. Let's do it.
Peace and blessings. All right. We got the big homie Zay. What's going on with you?
Not much. Was good.
All right. And we got a favorite. Is here.
Okay.
All right. He's back. They've been asking for him. Right. We got Mr. Wilson is in the house.
What's up, y'all? What's up with it?
All right. Who's at this part? Introduce yourself, brother.
That's J-Rock.
J-Rock. After 700 hours of trying to get on.
All right. Hey, those are hard to operate. I understand.
It's okay. We were on CP time anyway.
Okay,
so
go flip your phone, because here we go. We gonna go from
sideways, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From ashy. He went from ashy to classy. It's always good to be with everybody, man. Oh man, all the black people's in here just ready to talk. All right. So how's everybody's week been?
I'm spring breaking. I'm lovely.
Oh, you them weird Tubi movies. I saw you posting in them weird Tubi shows, man. I can't mess with Tubi, man.
No.
But hey, it's all good though. No judgment. You know what I'm saying? All right. What about everybody else? Everybody's had a good week?
Yeah, it's been productive. Mine's been pretty good.
Productive. All right, cool. I know who's not having a good week though. Good week. We got the diddler. All right. Yo, they got him. Nah, they ain't get him because he's still on the run. Or is he on the run, or they just let him go? He's chilling somewhere on the island. But your boy Diddy, Brother Love, Puff, depending on the generation that you're in, hey, they raided his house, had his sons hemmed up. It made it look like he left his sons, like he was like, yo, y'all on y'all's own. I'm on the jet out of here. And the son's getting handcuffed. They said it. I'm hearing human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's on some chocolate Epstein stuff.
Damn.
That's the accusation. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
allegedly since 90 something, isn't it?
Right.
That part.
It's been a long time coming because Diddy has been on some weird stuff for a while. I've been hearing stories about him, and So I don't know. It doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
He's gonna be spending time with my friend.
Right.
You talking about locked in the closet?
Oh.
He said another bars and all, but I feel more bad. My heart goes out to like the victims. I didn't know, like, I just with R. Kelly, I feel like we knew, but like what did he to me, he hit it very well. Yeah, I missed a lot of it, and I'm not ashamed of it, but
he was too busy dancing.
I felt like some past there was something else to that, but I didn't want to believe it. I felt like there's no way he could be that evil. There's no way, like it's all lies. But like now I don't know.
Yeah, and alleged Carisha, for the Facebook user, thank you for posting that. Lovely Carisha, she gonna be unlike my friend, who they just focused in on him and not all of his
associates.
Thank you, all of his associates. Thank you, baby. Help me out this evening. So shut up, Pearl. So the thing is with Diddy, they are getting other people. So from my understanding, Carisha is implicated, allegedly. And pink cocaine is a designer cocaine, love bug, very much like we have designer weed. So with that being said, that's all I can give you, because I don't partake in those kinds of recreational activities.
You was dishing the information out like you was one of the vendors. So what is happening?
Look,
I thought it was friend. You got secrets, friend?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
From what I've heard over the years, outside of any situation in which a person might have been a minor, outside of that type of situation, Diddy was an equal opportunity predator. He preyed on men and women alike. And it doesn't make it right. And it's very horrible when somebody uses their position to take advantage of somebody else. I will also say there are definitely going to be people who are going to stand amongst the crowd and have their pitchforks and picket signs. And they made their decisions with Diddy based on economics. Again, not anybody that was underage, but not everybody went in there blind, or should I say unwilling, for their diddling from Diddy.
I
like how you did
that, Z-Rod. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm
right. All right. You are indeed. So let's get to our topic tonight. So did everybody see the reel that was posted on the Relationship Airlines on our experience page? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Shame on y'all.
I had to go watch it.
Look, I didn't see it.
I missed it.
All right. So what it was a reel about Relationship Airlines. And for those of you who are watching, I could pop over and watch it real quick. But about Relationship Airlines, and each person that came up, they had to be evaluated if they were qualified to get on the flight of Relationship Airlines. And the first passenger, to say the least, the first passenger was like super excited. She's like, I'm ready for a relationship. I need to get on the airline. Now she's screaming. So then the guy said, okay, well, what's on your carry-on? She goes, not too much. I got daddy issues, trust issues, whatever. And he tried to pick it up, and it was too heavy, and she could not make it, or was not allowed on the airline. So
it was supposed to be like a real small carry-on, but
it was a carry-on.
when you try to lift it up, that was like straight lead or something. I don't know, like vibranium.
Yeah, he called her. He was like, damn, like whatever. So there's multiple people. Then there was another gentleman. I thought this one was very interested. He came up. He was well dressed. He's like, I don't have any issues. I'm good. And he said, okay, let me scan this right here. Boop, scan his bag. He said, wait a minute. You owe child support. Wait a minute. He's like, that's not gonna stop me. Was it like $50,000 in child support, something like that? It was a lot of
10 grand. It was like 10 grand, only 10 bands.
And he goes, what that got to do with a relationship? And he said, I can't believe you think you're going to have a relationship when you have financial debt. A good relationship. So that's an example. So that brings us to today's topic. are you qualified for a relationship or dating? For those of you who keep up with our page, you know, I asked the question the other day, if you had a credit score for your relationships or your dating history, what would it be? We had some pretty nice answers for those. A lot of the people who answered were married, but honest that what their score would be prior to being married. We had some other people who were honest about their history and what they thought it would be. I think overall, we can agree for those of us who are single or still in the dating game, not married, right? Because you're single till you're married. It's tough out here. You have broken people trying to convince you that they're not broken. And I love this. I say this all the time. Everyone's like, I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. I'm a good man. Are you? Are you really? What qualifies to be? So I'm going to slide over to miscommunication because she got a little bit of fire about this topic.
So for the people who are watching, let me just tell you, because I think we need a little background information on this topic. Me and Pearl were having a conversation one day, and I was just like literally like going hamburger, and it was like I didn't realize that I had that much. I didn't realize I had that much going on in me, but I'm realizing nowadays people are not qualified to be dating. You need to go sit on the sidelines. This is not for you. This is not a game that you should be involved in. And I can speak for myself. I can speak for myself. Sometimes I know that there are certain things that, you know, also disqualify me from being in the dating pool. Like sit down, go have a seat. But it's just like going to the bank and asking for a loan or whatever for a house. You might want a 9-bedroom, 5-bath, you know, house, but you are not qualified for that. You need a shack because you are not qualified. And I think a lot of people out here are running around thinking they deserve these villas up in Malibu, and you need to be in the projects right now. You do not have the qualifications to be doing this. And that's just where
why do we gotta go all the way to the projects though?
Because some I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the projects, but I'm just saying
no, I don't mean that. I meant of a relationship.
Know your qualifications, baby. You don't have your credit score in this relationship thing is not going to allow you to get that 9-bedroom. You need to sit down and get you maybe a 1-bedroom studio or something. Stop it.
So from your experience,
yeah, but you know what though? People also, to use your analogy, people also have to be realistic. Actually, going with your point about what neighborhood they really have real estate in. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you can't improve and you can't move up, but you got to know if you on the other side of the tracks before you start demanding to be up in Brent Hills or, you know what I'm saying, you know, Jamaica Estates or anything like that.
Heights, cut it out. You don't.
Well, so I think the issue is a lot of these people that you're identifying don't really even know they have an issue at all. Like they are blinded, or which I think is the worst type of denial is you're lying to yourself and believing the lies that you're telling yourself, right?
That's
true. There are a lot of people out here who are dating who one are just terrified to be alone. So they just gonna keep hopping. But I ask people often, if you can't be by yourself, why would I want to be with you? It doesn't even make any sense to me right now.
All right, hey, so what are some examples? Let's get specific. What are some examples?
Well, all right.
Like let's break it down.
Outside of like preparing for marriage, you know what I'm saying? The really own real qualification that a person needs to be dating or going out there is really just desire, because you can't quantify another person's position and they won't know in relation until they meet said person and interact with them what level that other person is on. Only thing that they know is that they don't want to be alone, or they want to go out and socialize with somebody else. So I think really having an understanding of where you are and what it is you're trying to do is important, because like everything's going to pretty much fall under this. There's an old saying that goes, an idea without a plan is just a wish. So a lot of people like the idea of being in a relationship, but they don't really understand how to plan out to be in a relationship. So all they really have is just the wish, and that comes and goes just like any other wish in the world.
Okay. I want to get, if y'all don't mind, if y'all don't mind.
Go ahead, Mr. Married Man.
Right.
Being married doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
ask the question. Ask the
okay,
question.
so
It matters.
I'm gonna break it down kind of further. So some specific things. All right. So like, let's think of one thing I can think of. Being broke as hell. Is that one of the things that
Disqualifies you?
that brings down
What's broke as hell? Going through a bad spot, or just
take care of yourself, broke?
Yeah, like because there's levels to be. I know it sounds messed up, but there are levels.
Hell, you go to the gas station and you break down crying because none of your cards work.
Stop it! Don't come and don't stop! Come on, you doing the no.
That's broke.
That's broke. No,
you know I'm saying no, that doesn't work.
Well, no, you'd be surprised how many people who have that situation that are in relationships. There's a lot of people out there that are in relationships when it's going down. It's been going, you know what I'm saying? It's bad.
No.
Should they even be considering dating? Or
no, they should get themselves together first.
It's to date. So no, you should not be out here dating. You should be somewhere trying to find some gas. And
some people be like, there's somebody for everybody. I'll find somebody to
well, that's the truth, but do people really want to face the truth? Like I said, the only qualification for wanting to get out is really just your own personal desire. So I think that you should be able to at least carry on and be able to take care of yourself, because if you're financially struggling, that can lead to emotional strain or you acting out emotionally because you're not set or you're not secure in your day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying?
The top reason relationships don't work are financial. Well, one of the top reasons is financial. So why walk in already at half par?
I don't think a lot of people are having those conversations beforehand. Unfortunately, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I'm single, okay, but I got a lot of friends that's married, and I know a lot of people that are in relationships. So, and it seems to be the general consensus that, like, look, we might not agree on everything, but like, you know, like, yeah, they fight, they have issues, but sometimes that conversation is just not had up front. And you know, it's unfortunate, but it needs to be had.
To that is, does that count for both genders?
Yes.
Yeah, because you should be able to take care of yourself. It's a selfless thing. Not
unless your mission is to be Captain Save 'em. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, no, or a sugar daddy or sugar mama.
Or that's different, but that's a different kind of relationship that we're not going to tap into.
Okay, because I sometimes I see, you know, sometimes women are broke. People can look past it if they thick.
Yeah, but we're all different ages, right? So
he said if they're thick.
Yeah.
Is it acceptable when you're younger?
You know,
say again.
Is it acceptable when you're younger to, you know, oh, he's just coming up?
It's acceptable as long as you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like that.
Like, yeah, when you're younger, being broke is a little bit more like, oh, they're young. But when you break beard, you broke like that, it's like,
no, it's never a fun.
Right, so what other things are out there that people come in baggage?
People got emotion. People have emotional issues. And they're dragging that emotional. Like, you need to be emotionally intelligent to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. Don't shake your head, because it's not. I don't mean like that. I mean like
Can we see this comment? Can we see this comment? Right.
Okay, go ahead.
This comment says, a broke woman that has assets, ASS capital letters, will always be saved. This how you get your foot in a rut,
and those
gentlemen, I ask you, is that correct?
That's true.
It is.
Bit of time.
So how can we get mad at women who are gold diggers? If y'all
because
saying
you get mad at men who haven't learned that a woman is more than just her assets.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That growth has to come with equal recognition on the other side. So if you recognize it, and we also got to recognize those things as well.
Absolutely.
My brothers got it. Come on, my brother. I know these brothers know, man. Go ahead, let them know, man.
Yeah, me myself, I'm not a person that gets mad at a gold digger. If she finds a digger, then congratulations.
If she finds the gold and she's good. Like, if she's digging for gold and she finds it, then that's good.
All right, so I'm sorry, y'all were talking. What y'all say?
I was saying about the whole emotional thing. It's like, listen, there's a lot of people out here that will say, "Oh, I have a car and I have a house and I have all these things," but are emotionally, just not there at all, and refuse to be, to give and take in that way. If you have an issue with that, I don't think that that's something that you need to work on that before you wreak havoc in someone else's life.
But you would have to be able to identify that. And I think that's the thing. A lot of people are not able to identify that.
Well, can I just make a statement? One of the things I noticed that's interesting, there was a meme on Facebook that was saying how and it goes back to like sort of high school days. So like the cool guy was going after the popular girl, and then on one side, then the hood rat was looking for the drug dealer type. Like, so we're so caught up on what we perceive to be acceptable people without looking for someone generally that really likes us for who we are.
Correct.
Without the stereotypes. So I think the emotional piece does make sense, because a lot of times people find other broken people, or people find people that are in situations. That's how you get used. So I definitely don't feel necessarily that in 2024 that both people, if you're in a relationship, need to be working. You have to have goals. You have to have morals. Have to be on the same page with those kind of things. And I think people are overlooking that. And I think that's
or settling so they could say they have somebody.
Yeah.
But okay, so excellent point. But do you think, as a man, and I guess this is to the men, that sometimes the mistakes of your past make you blinded to being yourself in a relationship, because you're all, like your experience has been like the person who said, hey, if you have assets, you'll always be saved. So it's almost like you've been in relationships where you're just so used to giving, right? What you can give, what you can provide, that maybe you don't know what it's like to be in a relationship and just be you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's think about it. A man, in some situations, I'm sorry, D-Rod, in some situations,
go ahead.
A man has always been like, does he have a car? Does he have money? Can he give me this? Can he take me here? Can he get my hair done? Right? So that's that person with you. I'm being a little extra, but what you can provide.
Yeah. Well, men
versus who you are. You know what I mean? Does that?
But I mean, typically men are valued off of what they can do and what they provide. So
that is true.
But what about being yourself?
Men can be conditioned, which is what Pearl's point is. Sometimes when you are conditioned in various situations, you do, and women, we go through this as well, but you become conditioned so you don't even realize that you yourself has been lost. Your authentic self has been lost. But guys, I'm being quiet because I'm married and I don't have these issues. I'm just being quiet. Y'all feel free to talk.
In the middle of
Well, this ain't one of them. Period.
This ain't one of them. Okay,
I'm still
gonna say something.
All right. I think this goes for men and women, right? There's one thing I think first and foremost, you have to be self-sufficient as far as being able to take care of yourself before you step out to go and interact with anybody. But past that, what I was speaking with miscommunication about earlier this week is you have to also be healthy mentally and also have enough emotional disposable income to spend with somebody else. So we talk about being able to connect with somebody and stuff like that. And we don't really understand what good mental health is because we've been living in bad mental health so long. We know how to identify when we're in a situation of bad mental health, but we don't know what good mental health is. And one sign of good mental health is having a flexible psyche, right? Not being so rigid, not being so stuck, being able to self-assess and also be able to put yourself into another person's perspective outside of your own feelings and emotions. And that ability to sway is not easy, and it doesn't, you know, we don't always have that. Like that's a lot. But in able to do that, I think a way to recognize it is if a person's not for you, they're not for you. Right.
Yeah.
So if your real estate is Canberra Heights and then you start talking to me about Rochdale, it's not going to match. It's not going to work for me.
We gotta find a different comparison for those who are
Yeah,
not.
please, Les. Yeah.
For those who are not from
that
Queens.
definitely
So
I get it. But
so if I'm saying that my real estate, if I'm saying that my real estate is Beverly Hills, then you can't come with, you know, saying some redneck outcount house, you know, rural area. That's not my vibe. You know what I'm saying? But I should be able to recognize that and say that, okay, this person or this situation is not for me without getting mad. I think how mad you get at a situation is a good way to gauge your mental health, because when you're mentally healthy, something that's not for you, you can just cut it and keep moving to find what is for you versus, you know, saying being, you know, caught up in anything else.
Well, I think we also don't give ourselves that time to heal, to pause and be like that. Even if it was like a jacked up relationship or a great relationship, right? You don't pause and go, hey, I've been in this situation where I was getting abused, and now here I am going to the next person, and then I'm like, I'm expecting that person to make what the last person messed up right, versus let me take that time out.
But I think that has a lot to do with the fact that people don't want to be by themselves.
Absolutely, but so I'm just saying, so process, now the next person
to heal, you need to be alone, and you need to figure that out on your own, right? You need to figure it out. Yeah, and but it's so much easier to have somebody else fill the noise, so that you don't have to.
So you don't have to face it, right? But that's just like how Dr. Umar said. How are you in love and truly, yep, I said it, Jay. How are you in love and truly in love with someone, and then you just let that go, let that bond, and then you just jump to the next person? Have we not healed from that? Because now what we're doing is what we didn't do here, we're trying to do here to make ourselves feel better, versus it's a whole new chapter. Let me start this chapter over, right? I cannot, here's my thing. As a woman, there's a certain level of me I want in a relationship. I don't want you to do what worked for someone else. I want you to figure me out and do for me. A lot of times when we don't heal, you're just like, well, this worked for this person. Let me try with that person.
Yeah.
And when that person goes, this is not working, you go, well, wait, nope. If it worked for them, it has to work for you. No, I don't have that exclusivity.
That brings me
to figure me out.
That's another
part of what happens. That's part of what happens. So now you carrying this over here and trying to figure out why it's not working, because you still carrying over there. That's a lot of the stuff that happens when you go from relationship to relationship without healing, and you thinking I'm good because the problem wasn't me. The problem was that last person.
So what's the healing time frames though? How long?
Oh, there's
as long as it takes.
Yeah.
As long as it takes.
I don't think you can quantify that.
As long as it takes.
It's a very individual situation.
I've always done.
So I imagine it's different for every person. Then.
Yeah. Zay, your thing cut up when you talked. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I've always given myself a minimum of a year.
Woo.
Okay. Minimum.
So you said, "Woo, I've done longer than that." After my marriage, it was just me focusing on motherhood, and that was it. No slinging, no casual, just focused on getting right.
Okay. So can I ask all of these lovely single people, what's your credit score?
What is the qualifications for a credit score?
I don't know. What is your credit score?
Is it how many people you've been with? Is it
ma'am? My question is simple. What is your credit score?
Okay, well, I'll take it 2 steps deeper. Being that credit is not how much money you have, but how well you're able to handle and manage debt. I think my credit score is probably like around about 796, strong 796.
Okay.
Strong 796.
Why did your face do that?
Damn. Okay. That's what you said.
796.
Okay, he said 796. All right, go ahead.
So hold on, wait a minute. So D, so you said 796, right? And that's based on the fact that you are able to manage I'm gonna use your words because I love your definition, how you did that, right? So you're able to manage your own emotions and feelings, as well as whatever baggage, if you will, that she brings with her.
Yes, because
Equal.
that's when you get into a relationship and you out of like the whole dating, that's really the job, so to speak.
I got you.
You have
I
to understand yourself, right? You
Mhm.
have to know your faults. You see, the thing about when you're trying to hide stuff, when you're trying to show yourself in your best light and you're not showing the people your dark side, then they don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You're avoiding it, so they don't know how to deal with it, but it's eventually gonna come out because it's you. You know what I'm saying? So first thing is I know my dark side. If I'm with a person that don't like a person that yell, I'm like, look, I hear you and I'm gonna try and adjust it, but I'm also Jamaican. I'm gonna yell sometimes. It's gonna come out, right? But I need you to understand that I'm not yelling at you to minimize you or to make you feel small. That's just how I do it. And you're gonna catch me doing it sometimes, right? But I also need you to be able to recognize when that happens, you can still speak to me without being afraid or having to hold anything back. That's what I put on myself. And sometimes it feels like a lot and too much. But you know what? Because I have that type of credit, that's why I can walk out in a car dealership when I don't feel like it's the best deal for me.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
Miscommunication. What's your number?
So I'm in collections. I'm in collections.
Oh,
let's not even do all of that. I'll be the first one to say I'll be the first one to say the credit score is abysmal. And the reason why the credit score is abysmal is because I know for a fact that I need to sit down. I know this. This is why this quote. I mean, I don't want to cause chaos, confusion, or issues in anybody's life. So I'm going to be responsible enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to go to the bank and try to get that 7-bedroom house. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna live in my parents' house for a little while and get my life together. And then when I'm ready, I will. I know that now.
Okay.
I know.
Right. So you're in collections. What about you, Zay?
Respect that.
Yes.
Zay?
Me?
Yes, you.
So,
Why you gotta give me the extra deep voice? Me.
Because you know Zay Tate. It all sounds the same. I mean,
You're right. Okay.
For me, I'll probably have to say about like a 700. It's not bad, but it ain't excellent either.
Gotcha. Okay. Tay. Now, Tay.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it's
Self-reflection. I love it. Let's go.
It's given 690 because I need some work and yeah. That's it.
That's not bad.
It's
not that bad.
It's good.
No, but it's not where you want to be though. You know what I mean? So that's all.
Look,
so we aiming for 800, right?
Look, 690 can get you a mortgage. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Thank you. I was about to say, if you hit that 620 mark, you able to do some bake some things. So,
Mr. Wilson, what's you?
Mine low. I ain't even gonna say.
Well, you also the youngest on our panel, so go ahead.
Man, mine low. I'm like probably about a 500 right now. But it's good though. I'm gonna be all right. But
you a work in progress. We got
Look, bro. I can help you get that stuff off your credit, bro. We're gonna go ahead and get that score up, my man. It's like, yo, we're gonna do that shit, bro.
Nah, man, I'm just focused on me right now. And
that's how you raise your credit score.
Yeah, what I'm trying to
Absolutely.
do professionally and in my career. So I know to try to bring somebody in on that would probably be the wrong thing to do, and wouldn't be fair to them. So
gotcha.
I can acknowledge that, man.
Nice. What about you, J Rock?
I say 715.
Y'all over here capping over here. I don't know what's wrong over here. Y'all.
No.
Well, we gonna get to details. We gotta all give our numbers first.
I'm about to explain because this is interesting. That I just recently started dating again, and one of the things that I value in a relationship or a partner or whatever is the fact that you can be vulnerable. And I am definitely opening up. I'm talking about opening up, like inviting people to meet people that they ain't supposed to be meeting yet. So, and in the past, I've really departmentalized a lot of my relationships. So I think that that's something that's new for me. So I definitely feel that I'm definitely ain't no 6. I mean, nothing wrong with the 6s, but yeah, 6 ain't me. I mean, I think I've grown as a person, so I think, you know, I'm halfway there. I'm halfway there.
I'm happy for that for you, man. That's what's up, bro.
I think that was excellent. So yeah. Oh, I'm the last single. I would say, let me look at miscommunication face. I would say
Yeah.
750.
Doing too much.
750. You give me 750? Okay,
That's what you
750.
said. That's the credit score you gave me. Y'all listen, you do realize that the credit bureau does not allow you to give yourself credit scores. I'm just letting y'all know.
Damn right.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Everybody's running ahead to
You know what though?
Okay.
Yes, you know what though? Trump got a lot of loans in the 80s, stating, telling people what his credit score was, even though it was a lie.
I'm gonna say 750.
The credit bureau, Equifax does not say, you know what? Whatever you want to be, that's what's going to be. So right now,
the credit score thing is just weird. Like, because here's the thing with credit, right? You can have bad credit and then not touch your credit and it goes boop, 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 by itself, right? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say that because I did take a plethora of time after my, so I was just marinating, letting it by itself. So
but I think a lot of times, well, even in this conversation, I think a lot of times people don't realize that when you're dealing with people in general, you know, whether another person in general, there's this thing called patience that a lot of us don't have, right? And a lot of us, and the older we get, I feel as though we supposed to get, you know, like my father says, oh, you know, now I'm a lot calmer and whatever. But I feel as though nowadays people do not have patience. People are running around here impatient and just wanting that instant, that instant gratification and things like that. And what happens with that is that when you do that, everybody on, people on this panel that know me, like D-Rod, me and him have had many conversations about this particular topic. Me and Black Pearl have had, conversations about this particular topic. And what I realize is that there are things where you have to actually start looking into things, right? So what a person gives you most of the time is their representative. And then when something happens, that representative and that mask falls down and then the real happens. And can you deal with that real? Because that's the issue. It's like, can you deal with the real person that you decided you're going to be doing this with? And a lot of times people literally see something, like you said, red flag, and they go, all right, you know what? I'm good.
So do you think that you struggle with patience?
Me? Yeah. You know I do. Why y'all acting like I do? Like me? Like
we didn't just meet her yet.
No.
I'm just trying to start.
So definitely people have problem with patience. We live in a I'm gonna stream a whole season of a show in one night versus even being able to wait through a set of commercials society. We understand that, but because of that, like the investment that we make in ourselves and the investment that we make in our children and instill in them to learn how to be able to sit. Like, I think one of the best things about going to church was you had to learn how to sit down and shut up for a minute. Like you had to. Absolutely. You had to. So you were able to apply that in different social situations in life. But like having that auntie or that church mama that would give you that little silent pinch and twist, you know what I'm saying? So you did dying, but everyone's got to be quiet and you can't scream out or nothing like that. Like you learned at certain times, I need to go ahead and sit down and chill. And sometimes people need to learn how to do that for themselves. A relationship is not about finding somebody that makes you happy. I think a relationship is about you being able to share your happiness with somebody and find somebody that's willing to share their happiness with you. But if you can't be happy by yourself, it's almost impossible that you're going to be happy with anybody else.
Well, what about being balanced? Because your statement is excellent, right? Not making someone happy, but finding someone to share your happiness. But y'all have to have that same vision of what happiness is, right? You could be like, this makes me happy, and the other person like, nah, no, I don't like it. So it's
and that's cool. That's cool.
I'm just saying, because happy is a general word, but when you bring two people together, it is. I'm going to use something that Doc said in our lady show. It is really about being evenly yoked. Like we're balancing, we're understanding, we have a common mission. I may not have to do what you're doing to make me happy, but I believe in what you're, right.
And that's what I meant by sharing the happiness. Like I have my own interests these things make me happy. It may not be your cup of tea, but I'm going to share them with you because they make me happy, right? The things that you share with me, not all of them is going to make me happy, but I'll share as much of them with you. And I'll also be honest enough to let you know, like, I ain't with that shit. No, I ain't with that shit.
But the difference is people go into relationships. There are people, let me not generalize. There are people that go into relationships like fully in me mode. Me. What am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of this? Me. So you could come to me and be like, I like poetry. And I'm like, that's whack. Why are you doing that? That's stupid. But if I really want to share my I don't think that. I don't.
Just that quick.
I knew he was going to do that.
I knew he was too.
I love it. And out. I got it.
But the thing about it is, if I truly care about you and want to build, what makes you happy, even if it doesn't make me ecstatically happy, I want to support you and see you in that happiness. I don't think people have that.
It's the amount of time that people take to find that out. They think they can sit down and have a conversation with somebody and somebody can give them a list and now they know this person. Right. It doesn't happen. I tell people like, yo, for me personally, I say I'm going to invest in a year in figuring out whether or not I wanted to date you. Seriously. Because within a year, I'm going to see all your intricacies, new, good, bad, most likely.
4 seasons.
Most likely. And again, part of that is going to be in how much I'm investing in finding out about you. Because I'm not telling you that, I'm going to see you for a year and then I'm going to find out. I'm making this investment on myself. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a private eye, like Magnum PI or whatever.
You have patience, and a lot of people don't.
But see, the thing about it is what I get out of it is worth the time that I'm putting into it.
Again, because you're patient.
No, I have to be. I have to be because I've wasted so much time. I've wasted so much time making quick decisions that I got to try something different.
No, and I'm with you. I'm just saying you are talking about a system that requires patience. That's what I'm saying. And if people are saying they do not have patience, then they will not invest in that system. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not disagreeing.
Oh, no. And you're absolutely right. And guess what? You get what you put in.
Facts. So does anyone else think they struggle with patience or dating? Because miscommunication was like, Matt, really, D? Really, Jay?
Definitely.
But I'm working on it, though. I worked on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. You be aware of it. At least you're willing to work. That's the first step. Admitting you have a problem.
Well, I feel like I can be the total opposite of miscommunication because miscommunication definitely gets on me about being too patient about stuff.
I don't call it patient. It's not patience that I say. I say it's accepting. And I feel as though what happens is that I'm not saying, listen, a lot of this stuff, a lot of things happen here where we know people in this time, this time are thinking about self a lot more. And there's nothing wrong with taking care of oneself. But what I'm saying is that when you're in when you're in a relationship, it's not just you, it's you and another person. So there has to be some reciprocity. There has to be some balance. There has to be these things that people are nowadays not willing to do, and they're not willing to go, well, I'm not going to. It's all about what you're not going to do.
Well, they're triggered because they're like, well, I did this for the last person who obviously is the wrong person.
See, for me, I feel like I can be too understanding. I don't know.
That's what,
because I'm the type that show me who you are that way and let me determine if I can deal with it or not.
That's it. I'll be honest, right?
I see red flags. I'm like, that's a red flag. All right. But if I know that's who you are, then I'm gonna accept you for exactly who you are. But then after a while, it's like, I think the best way I describe this is cute until it's not.
But Zay, don't you think that you should, when you see a red, my problem, I think people is like, they see a red flag and go, red flag, but y'all don't say nothing about that. You need to confront these red flags.
It's a red flag.
Huh?
Oh no, I'm gonna say, just don't.
That's nothing. Confront these red flags. Confront them.
I'm gonna tell you it's a red flag, but it's one of those. I'm not telling you it's a red flag for you to change yourself. I'm just telling you it's a red flag is one of those. I don't usually deal with this, but I think my thing is I've dealt with being with someone for the longest time who basically in the end told me they played a character to present to me my perfect wife. So I'm like, okay, instead of teaching somebody the type of woman I want to be, I'd rather you be who you are. let me see your red flags, and then I can determine if because a relationship is something you got to be able to work things through. So don't hide your red flags from me. Ain't no point in hiding your red flags, but then I got to get to that point where you show me your red flags. I see them now. I'm dealing with them for right now, but is this something I can do long term? And that's why I say it's cute until it's not.
Right.
I mean,
so you'll deal with it as long as you possibly can. But once you get your fill of it, you go,
Yeah.
nah, son, I can't do that no more.
That's when I'm like, you know what? I'm good with you. Be blessed. I think that
Not be
Walk with
blessed.
Jesus. Walk with Jesus.
Do you tell them that, or do you just
you just not for me? Like you just not for me. But we gave it a shot. I gave him my all. But before I lose myself and somebody else like that again, nah.
So can I say something? Speaking from I see you, Tyrone. Real quick, speaking from my perspective as a woman, and this has been discussed amongst the women, which is before I got married this last time, I was so ingrained in having a relationship and moving it quickly along because I believe in the sanctuary of marriage. And so that from a patience standpoint, I wasn't patient because I was trying to move this thing into an I do. But in me trying to move a relationship into an I do situation, I was actually sabotaging the relationship because I wasn't allowing it to grow, and for me and the other person, right, for feelings to really be truly reciprocated equally, but also for that person for that person to truly get to know me and vice versa. But I will also self-disclose that what I came to learn through therapy is that at that point in time, and I have been delivered from this for real, which is I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I diagnosed myself through college. When I was in undergrad, I was like, oh, that's what the hell is wrong with me. But even though I knew that, it wasn't until I had went through therapy to really understand and unpack all of that crazy psychotic foolishness. Well, that's what I mean. Seriously, I had issues. To truly unpack all of that so that I can enter into what D Poet was just speaking to, having that healthy relationship and understanding what a healthy relationship looks like. And I think more women and equally men, but I think oftentimes we don't even recognize mental health is playing some issues here. We just think it's just they being clingy. No, they got some stuff they need to go to a therapist. But yes, I digress, but I wanted to just share, like, for as a woman, because oftentimes it is women who always wants the I do, and I just wanted to speak to that.
Well, what about the person who has been told or self-diagnoses their issues, but use that as a justification to be the brokenness? That because there's plenty of people go, well, this happened to me, that's why I'm like this, and this happened to me, that's why I'm like. But you're still doing it. You're not even trying to fight it. You know.
I mean, I was about to say, because part of the game in a relationship is growth, and so sometimes you get with people and they're like, well, I'm just crazy. No, that's a cop out. You just don't want to put the work in to grow and better yourself. Like, who you are in the beginning in a relationship isn't who you end up being. Everybody grows and life happens.
You should grow if you're in a relationship. Definitely should grow.
And so the part of it, everybody's got some flags that are red, some flags are pink. But you got to figure out, is that the person? Are you willing to deal with that shit with that person? Are they worth dealing with what they got going on? Sometimes it's not. Like they said, sometimes you got to be like, nah, this ain't.
Tap out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. Well, you're not the person willing to go through that with. And
doesn't it matter what the foundation is that you're building onto? Are we building a foundation of relationship just because we have good sex? Are we building a relationship because you could pay my bills? Like, doesn't that matter too? Because that foundation has to be stable that you could keep building on top of it.
But you can't go to the other person still thinking those questions. You got to know that before you start stepping out to look for people in the first place. You got to have a strong understanding.
People know. It should. It
should. And that's why I say, like, you got to be able to. My thing is this: I want to try and give an environment for a person to be as honest as possible, so I can get as much information as possible, so I can make a decision based off as many factors as I can unearth between, the time I meet this person to the time that I make this decision. There is no set time. Some people you can read and you can follow, and some people, it takes a little bit longer. The only thing that I can do is try to offer an environment where they can feel comfortable being fully honest with me. Now, at a certain point in time, if I feel like that they're not being honest or they can't be honest with me, I can accept that and not be mad at them. But I can also say this is not a situation that I want to be in. And unfortunately, when it comes to mental health, sometimes there's situations where we want people to, quote unquote, grow, but because we don't understand the nature of what it is that they're dealing with, they might not actually be able to change. So like you say, like Zay said, it might be something when a situation where you got to say to yourself, is this something that I can choose to deal with in dealing with this person? Because this comes with the person as much as a baby would.
And
I think we talk a lot about emotional stuff, but we also I think we need to also unpack people's physical health too. Like, that's important as well. Like, if you are, I mean, I don't know if I want to die alone, but if you're dying, maybe you shouldn't be dating right now. Maybe you should just be like, I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be funny.
Sick niggas need love too.
I mean, some people need love too, but my God, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so that's extreme if you're dying, but what do you mean?
But you know what I mean?
If you have
well, isn't that part of being self-sufficient? Being, what I'm saying? Like I said, if we're talking about mental health, like, the body also got to be strong too. Like,
absolutely. Because how am I building with you if you're about to, like,
there's so many layers to this thing. There's so many layers to this thing, and it's like people gotta understand. You can't have 4 things right and a whole bunch of shit wrong, and then say, I still feel as though I should be in.
And of course, wrong is based on the other person, right? Because you may see something and go, that's not wrong. I may see something like, I'm not doing that. We have to understand that it's the people in the relationship who identify red flags. Something that's a red flag for me may not be a red flag for you at all, right? But you have to know thyself. That's what it is. It's knowing yourself. If you know yourself, one, I need to pour into myself. That includes mental health, physical health, emotional health, right? If you know I don't want to deal with this, then I need to fix that in me first before I go out. Just like you need to know, some people don't know what they want. They're just shooting in the dark. How do you know
they want a relationship? That's the thing. So I just want to be in a relationship.
And I think Zay had put a post that says you need to be like pipes and not a bucket, right? That was what you said?
Be pipes, okay. Bucket.
So a bucket is just it's only one way. It's either you're filling it up or you're emptying out. But pipes is like we are constantly flowing
into each
other. We live in a world where people say, I'm a good woman, I'm a good man, I am the table, I bring the table. What is there? What are you bringing? What are you creating?
Lauryn Hill said they lie to themselves, so what makes you think they won't lie to you too?
Like let's be 100. Pussy is a dime a dozen. That is not something to bring to the table. I'm just being real with you.
Market value.
But there's a lot of women out there that feel like that's enough for them to build a lifelong relationship. Guess what? It's not.
Because one day that thing ain't gonna work, and they're gonna be that thing ain't gonna work.
Hey, look, there's a poet out of New Jersey named Talam Acey, but he had his poem called "There's a Market for Niggas." So when all you gotta sell is pussy, the market is them niggas out there. But that's all you're gonna get is them niggas. So like, listen, and the other thing is you got to understand now your product. If you've been selling your pussy to niggas all this time, don't try and bring it back over here like this shit is now Wagyu snake. It's not.
Also, don't throw it, because you don't throw things that are valuable. You throw trash. You throw things that you want to get rid of. If it's that valuable, why are you throwing it?
Right.
or things that want to be, or you things that you want people to play with, because balls get thrown too.
You right.
So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, play with them or this, or you know what I'm saying? Like, balls get thrown too. So
ain't nobody throwing balls, man.
Yes.
Well, what's the biggest obstacle? I'm gonna start off with Mr. Wilson, because he's been the quietest. What do you feel is, in your experience, the biggest obstacle in dating or getting into a relationship?
Oof.
Not oof. Oof.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess that's a multitude, a lot of
Well, give me the top three then.
Of issues trying to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. I'm gonna just kind of go off the last little problems I've personally dealt with. One, people that's, I mean, y'all already touched on it, people that's just getting out of relationships or haven't been out of relationships long enough and thinking like they are ready to date. So maybe they've been out at 6 months, 8 months, and then finally, you know, things start to get serious, and then you realize like, oh shit, I'm not actually ready for things to be as serious, or maybe I'm not totally over you know, whoever it was in the past. I think that's number one. Two, you know, I'll say personally, as I like mentioned earlier, like just not being ready, you know, both from like a professionally perspective. I've like tried to date and have ran into some, you know, some dope women, but I'm not where I want to be. And I think it always just kind of comes up and like, you know, rears its ugly head, because I'm not where I want to be. So I kind of go from in and out of spaces of like being happy or not. I don't want to use happy, maybe like feeling fulfilled. And then there's other moments where I'm like, I'm not doing enough and I'm not where I need to be. So I would say maybe those are the two big things. So people not being totally over their exes, and then maybe not personally being, you know, along our development as we would like.
Gotcha. What about you, J Rock? You're muted.
I think that finding someone that you're on the same page with, have the same values, have the same wants, have the same vision. I think those are the things that I struggle with, because, you know, everybody, I mean, dating is one thing, and, you know, have that's, to me, that's being social, having fun, interacting with others. But relationships, meaning long term. So I'm looking for like what my grandparents have, or versus, you know, let's go on Snapchat or whatever the hell people do these days, and be on these little pseudo relationships, and not really, you know, knowing who you're getting. And one of the things, it's funny because I work in healthcare, and one of the things that I often think about is when you on your last days in the hospital, who's gonna be there beside you? Who's gonna help you? That's what I'm looking for. And if I can't count on you, you know, then what is the point? And I think a lot of times we get fooled by, you know, all of these glitz and glamours of the presenter that's there, instead of looking for what's within. Because one of the things that I'm looking on for now is I'm trying to date someone that I haven't dated before. So sometimes we get so caught up in, you know, you got to have these features, you got to have this bank account, you got to have whatever. But now I'm dating someone that's opposite of what I did before, because I feel that there's a need versus a want. So I might need certain things, but I might want something else. So I'm trying to work on the need, because the need to me is more important than the want.
Gotcha. So deep, Jay. That deserves some snapping, all of that. What about you, Coach Tay? So I didn't miss. So don't get me.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. I said, what are some of the obstacles that you encounter with dating and relationship. Is that what I said? How I said it before? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Similar to that. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So my number one challenge that I run into is not. I usually self-sabotage after a certain amount of time in, because I'm looking for love, but like I'm afraid to get it and lose it.
Yeah.
So I am struggling still, and I am actively in therapy, but I do have issues with a fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
And just, like I love love. I'm a lover, right?
Do
But
you believe in what you're looking for?
say it again.
Do you believe in what you're looking for?
Do I believe in love?
And what you're looking for? Because sometimes what we're looking for, we don't even believe that we can actually have it. That's the thing. Do you believe in what you're looking for?
Yes. No, and I believe like I'm worthy of it and I know that I'm ready for it. So yeah. But yeah, again, that's me being self-aware, knowing that like, all right, I'm pushing them away now. And then looking to blame them, like that was not working for me. So that was I would say that's my number one challenge.
Nice.
Yeah, and just getting out the house is my number two challenge.
DoorDash ain't bringing them to you, girl.
I know. I love being at home. This is my sacred space. But yeah, the challenge is getting out there and just like, having a good time and just being seen. Because I like to be home.
Okay. What about you, D-Ron?
Three things, right? One, am I truly, like, as far as obstacles, am I being honest with myself as far as who I am, where I'm at? Second thing, am I giving this person a space for them to be honest? Because if I am not giving them a space to be honest, and I can't be mad about what they do not tell me. And the third thing is, am I positioning myself to where I can, when I'm in a relationship, love as if I've never been hurt before? Because that's the most that I could possibly give to that person.
That was good.
That one right there.
That was good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, Zay. I'm just gonna slide on. Yeah, go ahead, Zay. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I don't just leave that man for last. He do this every time.
I forget.
You do this every time.
I forget. Sorry.
As far as my biggest obstacles, I think I run into, like I told you earlier, I think one of my biggest things is the fact that I watched my mother struggle. So it's like a part of me, I feel like it's something in me that attracts broken women. And I try to be that fixer. And then, of course, you can't fix nobody that don't want to be fixed. So I think that's my biggest issues. And then outside of that, it's more of there's a semi battle within myself of trust, just based off of how I've been treated in my past. One of those, I tell people all the time, I went through my own thing that would, in my past, that would always constantly make me angry, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not gonna put myself in that situation no more. And that kind of builds a wall sometimes where I don't, even if I feel like I'm letting you in, when I really look deep within myself, I'm not really letting people get close enough to hurt me like that. So.
Gotcha. Did I ask you miscommunication?
No, but mine is real quick. I mean, in fact, I'm not even asking. I'm not even going to so much answer the question as much as I'm going to sit and say.
Take your time, sister.
That a lot of times, what is necessary, I feel, is what is necessary is for people to do a SWOT analysis on themselves.
Oh,
a SWOT analysis meaning what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the obstacles, and what are the threats, and you need to do that for your own self.
I thought you were talking about police.
No.
So I was like,
Yes,
what?
it's so figure out what are your strengths, what are you weak about, what do you know, what are these obstacles that are in front of you, and what are the threats to your happiness?
Oh,
If you do
SWOT.
yes,
Okay.
SWOT. If you do these things and you really sit down and you really start thinking about what it is before you go out there and cause someone else's chaos in someone else's life, like get yourself together is my last thought in terms of this whole thing. Get yourself together and be really honest with yourself before you walk out these doors and start just like causing chaos in other people's life. Be a blessing in a relationship, not a hindrance, not a pain, not another stab in the heart. Let's try to do that instead of just walking around here just shooting everybody down and hurt. Like, let's stop doing that. It's not fair, and it's not nice, and it's traumatizing, and it's not good. And you turn a person that really wants love and really wants something good in their life into a person who now might go out and do exactly what you did to someone else. And it's a cycle, and it's not cool.
Mass shootings are up
So you're
all
not
over
gonna
America.
say what your obstacles are. You're just gonna give it
My obstacles. If I'm being honest, I already said my obstacle right now. I don't think I really so much have an obstacle as much as I know that I have a lot of work to do on myself.
So your obstacle is you still need healing.
Patience.
I need
Patience,
to
indeed.
sit down, get my credit score up, drink some water. You know what I'm saying?
And mind your business.
Mind my business. And no, seriously, and not for nothing. If I can't be I need to be a blessing to myself before I'm a blessing to anybody else. So that's where I'm at right now. So
Can I interject one thing?
One thing,
For all of the single people out here, and possibly even the married people, to piggyback off of what Miss Chaos
Chaos.
I'm
gonna use that.
Okay, wait.
I'm gonna use that.
I am Professor Chaos.
I'm gonna use that.
Freudian slip.
My bad. Miscommunication just said. So we spoke about credit scores. We spoke about the barriers. Would you date yourself? Is the real damn question.
Yes,
would you date
absolutely.
yourself? And seriously, I mean, and I think, like I said, and I agree with what miscommunication said is the fact that you want to work on yourself. But at the end of the day, if you won't date yourself, then maybe you need to start working on you before getting into a relationship and causing someone else some kind of issue.
And that was the whole point of this whole topic.
I would be in love with myself. Girl, I love
you. Hey, we've been having a really good conversation. And I know people listening, enjoying the conversation. So go and hit that like button. Do us a favor, like button real quick. Since you're enjoying the conversation, let's go.
Don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost a thing.
You don't even have to commit to a relationship.
Like, we don't go together because you like it.
We love each other real bad.
We're not putting nothing in the mail. We're not gonna call you.
Yeah, no.
Just hit that like button and we show us some love.
But yeah, okay. So date yourself. We got patience. We got know thyself. So
to be real, you gotta love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you ain't gonna let.
How the hell you gonna love somebody else?
Or let them love you?
Right.
Well, I think a lot of people make other people responsible for their happiness.
That's insane.
You aren't making me happy. You aren't, so it's just like, well, you already not happy, so I'm not gonna add nothing to you. I'm not gonna add anything to you. So
you gotta be happy yourself.
And who say you gotta be happy all the time? That's the other thing. Nah. People run around saying, "Well, I need to be happy." That's not realistic. Not everybody's gonna be happy all the time.
No. But you gotta understand though, like you have an option of sharing your happiness or sharing your sorrows with somebody, and your duality is gonna be shared upon them. But you got to be active of what you're sharing with this person, because some people only share their sorrows. Some people have those type of symbiotic relationships where, saying one person just wants to continually give to help somebody, and another person is just willing to always take it. And because it's off balance, eventually one side gets drained, and nothing really comes from that. You know what I'm saying? It has to be balanced. So if the only thing that I can control is me giving my happiness, because sometimes when I'm sad, I don't control that. You know what I'm saying? All that I can do is choose to be honest about that. I got to be happy first within myself and around myself before I can go and be happy around other people, because it's going to leak out. And that's what happened. People say, oh, this person changed. They didn't change. They just couldn't keep hiding the pain that they had inside of them for so long anymore.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
think also in relationships, from experience, it's like a giver is always going to give and a taker is always going to take, right? And as a giver, you're like, well, I'm going to give you and show you this is right. I'm doing it to show you. So you could be like, oh, shoot, let me get it. And it usually does not happen like that. And that, I think, is an obstacle. But go ahead, D-Rod. It's burning to come out. Go ahead.
No. Something that miscommunication said earlier, right? The fear of not being with somebody will make somebody be fake, and they think that they're doing it in order to benefit the relationship, to keep it going. But what it is, it's just as fake as, you know what I'm saying, false floors. So you can't really build on it. So like, fear makes people do all the isms: racism, stupidism, dumb-ism. And because they're afraid of being alone, they will lie to themselves, which then, of course, makes them lie to the other person. And then they wonder, or they got to find a blame in why the situation didn't work out. And it's almost always going to be the other person, because the person never takes time to look at themselves.
You are never the villain in your own story, homie. Never the villain in your own story.
Look, I didn't start growing and my credit didn't start going up until I realized and made myself the villain in mine, because that's the only way I can become the better hero.
I think I'm the opposite of you. I think essentially our credit score didn't go up until I realized I would not. I was scared to be the villain in my story, right? So I was like, what if I became exactly what broke me or what hurt me? And so it made me step back, like, wait a minute, I don't want to be that person. Does that?
Listen, the truth is not always pretty. The truth is not always pretty, but you know what? One thing about the truth is, when you look at that thing deep, if you look at that thing real deep, it will show you everything you need to know. Every single thing you need to know. Use discernment. Your heart is discerning. Sometimes you know stuff, but you act like you don't. You be knowing stuff out there.
Well, because you probably don't want to face it.
Just face it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So we've been talking as single people, but Doc and Mr. Chocolate, what do you think? And I know it's been a while. I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. I know it's been a while. What was the hardest transition over from dating to marriage? Right? Because dating life, married life. Because when you get to that part, it's not the same, right? It's the next level, but it doesn't look like the dating life. So I'm asking, what do you feel?
That was a joint credit score.
Right.
Mr. Chocolate, I'll go ahead and throw my little 2 cents out, which is simply, for me personally. For me personally, Pearl, there was no crossover. It just is. What I see is this day and age, people are trying to make a relationship into what they want that relationship to be. If you are, I just because I'm looking at D-Rod, I'm gonna use you, sweetie, because I always use Mr. Chocolate and then I get in trouble. So
that didn't even sound right, but I'm with it. Go ahead.
Messing with him, but for real, if D-Rod and I have a relationship, we are cool as friends, we are homies. That's my boy, that's my dog for life, and he got me, I got him, and we got that, what'd you say, 796 credit score? Then guess what? It don't change. When he and I say I do, that we still dating. Me and D still good. We still dating even in marriage. And I think that's where people get thrown off. So sister friend,
continuous effort.
It just flows. It's when people start trying to get in the pot and start stirring up and adding all these extra ingredients. Baby love, if it's working and it tastes good and it's seasoned to perfection, leave the recipe alone, just
Mhm.
let it
Marinate.
marinate.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you said something very, like two things, and both out of your mouth. In the beginning, when you were dating, it was just the destination of marriage, right? I'm gonna get to the I do. I think some people think that's like, I got to the I do, I'm done. Thank
No,
you.
no, you
Right?
keep
That's the beginning of the
dating.
journey.
No, and so, and that's what I'm saying, to answer your question, like that transition from me, and everybody's walk is different.
Yeah, yeah.
But for me, after I went through sharing my transparency with you all, after I went through my transformation and I put in that work to get to the core essence of who I am, I no, because I got it, because I understood the problem, and so I got it. And once I got it, and the rest is history. We had a friendship, and that friendship has consistently remained. So even though we are married, and when we did get married, nothing changed other than the fact that I got a ring and he got a ring, and we together forever and ever and ever. Yes.
Like
Like,
Coach said,
like,
Coach Tay said, to death do us part.
and listen, and Coach Tay, I will say, again, transparency moment, because we from the same neck of the woods, literally speaking. When I was dating, let me say it correctly, when I was dating my husband, because we from the country, I told him, I said, baby, let me tell you something. I'm from the country, because he's from Baltimore. He did DMV people, Zay. So with that exactly. So what I told him is, I said, you ain't used to this country. And I told him, I said, on goodness, if you ever think you're gonna try some trickery, I will gut you like a hog. And that's exactly what, and he laughed at me because yeah. But I was just letting him know respectfully. He know I was gonna cut him, but but respectfully, what I was letting him know is that I am truly committed. And he was equally committed. And so yeah, we there is no difference. But Mr. Chocolate, what's your thoughts now that you back, friend?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So before I logged out, y'all asked me the hard part about the transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's just the time. So when you're with somebody in relationships, it's normally a short amount. It's a couple of years. It's a year or two. But as you get along in marriage, things start to change. You change within each other. And so, it's hard dealing with that. So the growth part, that's the work, dealing with what happens when stuff happens in life. That's like the big challenge of marriage, is like being in it and putting the work in and figuring out, each other as you change. Because the person you marry is not the person that you have like 10, 15 years later. It's not the same person. And if it is, something's wrong with them. Because you're growing
something
life.
wrong with me and my husband, but we all right because we some messed up together.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And if you are messed up, are you willing to be messed up together? And a lot of people don't have that patience, and that they don't think about that, because maybe you got married and it was because the sex, and then later on it's like you don't want to have sex as much. Maybe you weren't friends and you realize, damn, I don't like this motherfucker. I leave. And you in it, and you got to figure out whether you want to stay in it or how you want to figure it out.
I
So
don't like that person.
And you know what, Mr. Chocolate, Pearl, I'm gonna piggyback off of Mr. Chocolate real quick, because he said something that really stuck out for me, which was he said that there was a change and they had to grow, right?
Yeah.
One thing, we being older, except for Mr. Wilson, we being of older group, when you're in your 20s and you're dating and you're going through all of that, it is different from your 20s and your 30s, your 30s and your 40s, your 40s and your 50s. Again, for me, again,
That's true.
seriously. And so for me, when I was dating my husband, I was in my late 20s, transitioning into 30. I had done been through that and done all that, and he had too. Which again, where I'm going with this is because he's been married before. So where I'm going with this is, I think there are different factors that also play into this whole transition conversation, because if it's a difference between Tay, if I may use you, Sweet Pea, Tay, if Tay has never been married before, and this is her first marriage, then her transition is going to look different from you, Pearl. Not only from an age standpoint, but also just from marital experience. So yeah. So again, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's walk is going to look completely different. To answer that question.
Okay. So everyone's single here. Is your goal to be married, or just
Streets.
date? I don't know. That's like date. The goal doesn't always have to be the streets or married, but is the goal?
Some people love the streets. I know a few.
Woo,
the goal is love for me. It don't have to end in marriage.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody? Y'all are all nodding. So Jess.
No, I mean, I would like to be married one day. I think one of the things that I remember as a kid is growing up watching the Cosby Show and having that type of foundation, and that played a really good part for me. And I mean, I know that that's not real and that's not reality as an adult, but you sort of want that, that white picket fence and the house and the dog and blah blah blah. So yeah. But will I settle for just being in a committed relationship? Sure. I mean, I think that's equally as important.
I don't think that'd be settling though, Jay.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be settling.
Will you be happy in a?
That's the difference.
Okay. We're not settling, boo.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right. What about you, Zay?
If you want to get married, it might be considered settling. And you don't.
Yeah, that's what I said. Settling doesn't. Yeah. Zay.
Yeah. So for me,
Oh wow.
Now considering my history, I'm a little antsy. I'm not totally against it, but in my mind, you can be married without the piece of paper that says you are.
So committed. I gotcha. Yeah. I gotcha. D-Rod.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I'm great with the partnership. Not so much it has to be wrapped up in the whole business aspect of marriage. For me personally, and it's just my opinion, like they slap God on it to make a business arrangement stronger. That's really what it is. And but I like the idea of the sanctity of marriage. I just know that it's something that has been corrupted. So what people yearn for isn't necessarily what it is today. And like my brother said, commitment is more stronger than a signed affidavit.
Gotcha. And
I had a question about that.
Wait a minute. However, go ahead.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
You said it's a financial obligation. So if
not the obligation, it's a business, but it's a business transaction.
Yeah, business transaction. So if you're on your deathbed and you're the person that you're dealing with is there with you and struggling with you, and then all of a sudden you die, and your family comes in and steps in and takes all of your assets.
It's a living
what security does that person have? That piece of paper gives you that.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. The same way I can sign that piece of paper, I can go ahead and create a living trust and dictate how it is I want my assets and my resources to be used, in the future. My goal before I die is to have $3 million trust that people don't ever touch the principal, or they can get his interest out of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's my plan for my generational wealth for my family. I got one for my immediate family, one for my general family, and one for my community and art and interests. That's my goal in life, to have 3 separate one of those. But it can be done. But the same way I can sign a marriage contract, I can sign a living trust and dictate how it is I want my assets to be dispersed upon my passing.
But my question was, when you said it was corruptible, it was corrupted. Like, but your specific marriage is your specific marriage, though. Like how you operate in it is how you operate it. Like,
Absolutely, but the idea of marriage in and of itself has been corrupted.
I agree with that. I get it in terms of, I mean, were you married, Mr. Chocolate? So you don't understand. So, but I mean, the single people, it's like, man, it's not really something to aspire to these days, because I mean, you look at it, you don't really see a lot of successful ones. I mean, not in and around us, maybe on TV, but like
I could say the same thing though. I could say you're not married, you don't understand.
But
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Oh,
D-Rod.
go ahead.
I understand.
No,
I get that too.
No, I was just gonna piggyback off of Tay, and I, even though I'm not single, but I've said this time and time again, and I will say it this evening. I will not ever, and I know you should never say it, never, right? But I will never get married again after my booby upstairs passes away. I'm done. Tapped out, leave me the F alone. Don't come smiling at me, girl. Can I holler at you? No, you can holler at this hand. Go away from me. So I do completely, no, I'm serious. So Tay, I do completely understand you and D-Rod's perspective on this, because it is corrupt. And I don't have time for none of the games or the corruption that's affiliated with perspective and the way that things are structured now. I can't and I ain't. So I dig it 1000%.
I won't try and push marriage, but I was just asking a question. Because I mean, y'all grown ass people. I'm good. I got mine. You do what you got to do.
The reason why I say it's corrupted is because people know how to get into it, and they go into it thinking that, okay, you know what? If this doesn't work, I can get out of it.
That's the part.
Marriage is supposed to be something where I've already made a decision that no matter what happens, we gonna make this work.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And we're gonna find out whatever it takes to make this work. But it's an option. You know what I'm saying?
If you
There's a
have
saying
an
that goes,
out, if you have an out, if you have a choice.
Well, people go in already thinking about that.
It's gonna go, yeah. If it don't work, you just get divorced.
Hold
And it's
up,
like, what do you mean if it don't work?
I'm curious. I mean, I don't really care either way. I want to start off by saying that, but I'm curious. Is that not the same situation with these long-term relationships? You can get them be in it for 5 minutes and then be out of it. So I don't think the piece of paper really matters. I think it's
it does. Hold on. As a matter of fact, specifically, the piece of paper matters even more in this situation, because you are now obligated because of alimony, because of palimony, because of child support, because of, you know what I'm saying, assumed lifestyle that I need to maintain.
Wouldn't that be the same from I'm renting a house to I can just buy my own house?
If Stedman leaves Oprah tomorrow, she gonna pay just like everybody else that's married. So I don't.
Is that common law?
Yes. Is that common law, or is that state by state? Because every state has its own different jurisdiction.
It is. I'm assuming in California where they live, he knows it's cheaper to keep her. That's probably
and for her it's cheaper to keep him. Let's get that straight. That's not cheaper to keep her. And that let's just know that for her it's better to keep Stedman in the guest house or whatever.
Stedman got some bread. He been getting a good allowance all them years.
Stedman is good.
Save that allowance. He good.
None of us.
Stedman probably a billionaire himself. He been getting that good Oprah allowance.
Here's the thing about marriage, relationships, whatever. It does go back to self, right? So I've been married before. And
so have I.
So my goal is not to be married, because I was married, but there was no commitment, right? It wasn't. Not on my part, but it wasn't. So, you reap the blessings, the benefits of what a marriage, but didn't commit to it. Okay. I think when I'm out here in a relationship, I'm looking for my best friend. Someone that when I am ready to bawl my eyes out, they're making me laugh. Just like when it's time to be serious, they'll check me. You know what I mean? My best friend, my equal, what's the word you use? A helpmeet. That's what you called it? My helpmeet, right? Because at the end of the day, having someone to take that journey with is more important, yes, than the paper and whatever. But the commitment should be to yourself that you are invested in this relationship.
Exactly.
So when you commit to yourself that I'm going to try and make this work, and then you guys are on equal ground that I am going to make this work, that is more than the piece of paper. That is more than the word commitment. The piece of paper is just that cherry you drop on top, like, and for the world, this is what we're doing. But if there was never a piece of paper and we went back to those times where we were jumping over brooms, it would still be a marriage, because you commit to yourself that I am going to invest in this person as they invest in me. We're going to be pipes and not buckets. That's it.
Well, really, the end of the day, how I feel about it, like, you know, if you didn't find that person and you had the apprehension about marriage, or you feel like how you feel about it, I definitely say don't do it. You know, it may be a point where you meet somebody and you feel different, or maybe not. I don't know. I know before I got married, I kind of talked the same way. I was like, marriage, it ain't real. But then I met somebody and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna marry her. Like, this is different. This is real. And so, I mean, so I feel like until people don't feel like doing it, I say, oh, please don't do it, because it's not for you right now until
I believe in the spirit of marriage. I believe in the spirit of marriage. I just don't believe in the institution of it as they present it here today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you find somebody, you feel how you feel about whoever you feel, and you do however you want to do it. And I'm good with that, because I don't be in people's business.
Oh, I done got a couple proposals already. So
what'd you say, D-Rob?
I said I done got a couple proposals already. So like, they find out about my credit score.
Spitting that poetry lingo, like, yeah, I'm sure you do. Still out there in the poetry circuit. I can see it, brother. I respect it.
They find out about the credit.
Smooth on here.
Look, they find out about the credit score, and they was like, "Oh shit, this nigga be honest and don't." And like, I don't care enough to lie. Like, I really don't.
Yeah, you don't have.
And because of that, it's so different and so weird. It's like, I don't give a shit. So,
right.
It's like.
All right. Well,
when I was out there, I told the truth, and it worked. It's enough around to tell the truth, and you still gonna get what you get. But that's a whole nother story, though. We don't go there.
Another story for another show.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely went way over the hour, but such a
good talk.
Conversation. Yeah. Of course, I wish you all my singles that are not married yet, the best of luck finding your other half, right? But this was really good information. I'm sure our viewers feel very similar, if not the same, to a lot of things we're doing. We've all bought a nugget and left a nugget, so I think that was wonderful. Anybody want to add some final words before Mr. Chocolate does our wrap-up conversation? All right, Mr. Chocolate, it's all you.
All right, all you single people, get y'all's ass married. Now, this place.
Listen, they gotta ask.
D-Raw was like, bro, you just said. Nah. Nah, man. Hey, look, if you haven't joined the group, make sure you do that, because if not, you are wrong. Okay, go ahead and join the group and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's just a click, hit a bell, helps us out. If you be listening, enjoying, y'all be sending me little messages. I liked the show last night.
Yeah.
You subscribe. Oh, let me go do that, man. What's going on? What you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends. Show some love. Help us out. We out here just, giving these good conversations. So help us out. All right. So everybody's good. Been part of the experience. And experience is always good. We'll see you guys next week. And I will be in Belize on some blue water next week. So I gotta be logging on from the beach.
Bye, guys.
No speedo pics, bro. No